What up? What up? What up, y'all? Let me get this thing going real quick. Let me get this thing going. Let me see what we got here. Quick second. There we go. There we go, right there. All right, there we go. What up, everybody? I'm sliding up on y'all real quick, getting this thing going. You already know how it go. We're going to go over some charts today. Today's charts, I'm going to specifically talk a lot about support and resistance. We definitely want to chime in and get a good look at support and resistance and the things how we find it, where we find it at, why it matter, etc., etc. So that being said, I'm going to go through my watch list and I'm going to just chart out stocks that I'm interested in for the week to come. This is going to be a week in the market, as I'm sure I'll probably touch on why throughout this video at some case. If you got any questions about anything stock market related or whatever, drop a comment. I will definitely answer your question as soon as as soon as I can. I will go chronologically, of course. And if you got any charts that you want me to stock, definitely drop your chart in the comments and I will answer that question or break down that chart for you, showing again keying in on support and resistance in the comments. So that's how we're gonna do that. That being the case, getting started, we're going to start off with the big four. So, you guys, if you've been here before, you know I always start off with SPY, QQQ, DIA, and IWM, and I refer to that as the big four. From there, once we get through that, we could definitely jump into any stocks that you guys want. And if you have any stocks that you want me to chart in the meantime, I'll definitely jump over to your stocks before I get into mine. So don't hesitate to, just let me know what you're thinking. But that being the case, we're going to slide up on SPY. That's going to be the first one. And if you check out SPY, I'm going to zoom it in a bit for you. There we go. So once we zoom in on SPY, again, looking at support and resistance, those are going to be key areas that I want to touch on in this video. So one thing we can see is we can see some obvious support. And I'm what I mean when I say support for those that don't know if you're watching this video. So when I talk about support, what you mean is basically a stock falls to a certain number, and around that area, people start buying it again, and the price goes up. So ideally, what you look for support is you look for 2 to 3 touches of a line. When it touched 2 or 3 times, ideally, you would consider that good support or good resistance. There are exceptions to be made if a stock is dealing with a 52-week low or a 52-week high, you might not get this. But other than when you're dealing with 52-week lows or 52-week highs, you really look for those 2, 3 touches. And if you don't understand that, or if you're a little bit kind of wobbly on that, you could definitely drop a comment and I'll explain. But for now, I'm going to draw my first line on SPY. Let's get this horizontal line right around this area. If I can get a tiny bit lower, right there. Accurate. It just got to be accurate enough that you understand what you were talking about, because these are your charts. The only times you have to worry about precise accuracy is when you're sharing charts with someone else, so you don't confuse them a bit. Now I drew this line here. This is a support line. The reason why is because you'll see if you're looking at this June, early June, we dump, right? We fall down to here and then we kind of hold this area, right, for a couple of days. Then we dump down and lose it. Then we come back and we gain this area and we hold it and then we take off, right? Then we pull back again, hit that area again, and then we take off again. So because we got a couple of touches there and it's held, we'll consider that an area of support. And that is around 372.87. Again, not an exact perfect line, but it's a line close enough that if I look at this chart and I see this line, I know I got support around that area. Now, why support is important is because it's simple. If I'm in a put option and I see I'm coming up on this area on my chart, I know to take profit right here, unless I expect it to break support, which that does happen on occasion. but you don't necessarily play for it to break support. Like right here, we did break support, but hypothetically, if I had a put, I know to take profit around this area. Or if I wanted a call and I see it come down to this area, I could use this area to buy a call, thinking that it's going to bounce off of support. So that's why support is interesting right there. Hope you guys got that. Like I said, if you don't, definitely ask a question and I'll answer it as best as you can. Hey Pam, welcome in, Queen. It's funny because you said Tesla, and I think it might have been the last live I did or the live before. I was talking about my members that I always know, and I know what stocks they go on the chart. And one of the stocks and one of the members I mentioned, I said, Pam always asked me about Tesla. So like, it's good to see you here and you asking about Tesla. But I know my people, so my regulars that's always here. I know what stocks they gonna ask me. Ravina and V, welcome in, Queen. Same thing. When I see y'all, I already know what y'all gonna ask me. I'm just waiting for you to say it out. But got that. So I'm going to definitely jump into Tesla and definitely jump into V. But I just wanted you guys to anybody that's newer, that's not understanding, to get this video and to see what we're looking at when we find support. So an easy support area will be right here because we got those 2-3 touches and it held up pretty well. Now, if I was looking at an area of resistance, I see an area of resistance right around here, and I'll make my computer screen a little smaller. And guys, I'm still going to give you the chart breakdown. Don't think that I won't do that. I didn't mean to do that. I'm still going to give you the chart breakdown as I always do. I just want to kind of touch on support and resistance because I had someone asking me about it a bit um earlier this weekend. So now this line will be resistance. Reason being twofold. So for one, you'll see we come up, we test this area, and we tried to get through, but we couldn't really get through, and we rejected and went back down. And then you come up, and this area is 390.51 roundabout. Then you came up, you tried to get this area a second time, we rejected, and we'll see if we come all the way back down, but we did pull back a bit. So that will be an area of resistance. And the same way with support, what that means is essentially you get into a certain number and people were starting to sell the stock. And as they sell, the stock resists the price and falls lower. So that would be your resistance. And that 372 area will be your support. Now, what we have is SPY's been trading in that area for about, I definitely didn't mean to do that, for about 3 weeks, you could call it 2 to 3 weeks. We've been trading in that area. So we're waiting for the break out upward or to break out downward to see what'll be the next move to come. Now, another reason why I said, because I said that resistance was twofold. So another reason why that resistance is where it is because a lot of times when you break through resistance, the resistance that you broke through then becomes a next level of support. So if you look back a little bit further, you'll see that resistance area that we looking at was also a support area here. And when it broke down and fell, it was a support area here where it held up pretty well and it bounced. It was a support area here where it held up a little bit and it bounced. So that's why resistance is twofold right here. And the same thing with this support area, it will be twofold. So the support, once you lose support and break down, that support becomes a new resistance. So it kind of does the same thing in reverse. That's where that is. Now that I explained that a bit, and I'm going to go over support and resistance with pretty much every stock that we talk about today, of where support and resistance is relevant support and resistance. I'm not going to talk about, hey, SPY got resistance at 415 because we're not nowhere near 415 right now. So who cares? But I am going to make a point of talking about relevant support and resistance with each stock that we go through today. Now, this candle right here, once we get to breaking down the chart, this SPY candle opened at 387.16, got as high as 390.64, got as low as 385.66, and closed at 388.67. So it closed green, but definitely off the highs. Like I said, we hit that 390 area and we rejected. So right now, what we're looking for this to be continued bullish momentum is we're looking for SPY over 390. SPY over 390, and my target would be right here, this 383 area roundabout. And the reason why that would be the target is because that's the top of my trend line. you'll see I got this descending trend right here, this purple line coming down. Now, a lot of times, the reason why that acts as an area of resistance, and you'll look at it through the chart, and it'll show tried and true, pretty much since this started here in late March. You hit the top of the trend, right? And you don't go no higher. April, we broke through a little bit, but we broke through and then we pulled back down into the trend line and we broke down from there. Then you come and you retest it again in early June and we broke way down again. And now we're looking like we could retest it again. So that's why my target would be 393.83. Anything above that area is a super bullish move for SPY, and you definitely want to keep your eyes out for that. But 393 is my limit expectation for now. Above 390, you could definitely rise SPY up into that 393.83 area. And I say 390, but if I want to be exact, I would tell you above 390.64, because that was the high of the last candle. Above 390.64, you definitely got a chance of riding SPY to that 393 area, which will be a real nice move for SPY and a nice move for the market itself. So I'm actually going to set an alert for SPY right here. And if I were looking at puts, we already hit that 390 area and rejected, right? So right here, we closed at 388.67, but the low of this candle was 385.66. If I was looking at puts, I would want to catch this lower than 385.66. Lower than 385.66. And I will play puts to see if I can ride this down to that 380 area. That would be something I would be looking for. You might have a little turbulence around 383. So that would be something to keep an eye on. But if you wanted to be an aggressive put player, you could definitely try to play this down to 380. So what's that? 385.50 and 391 is where I'm going to set my alerts on SPY. 391 and 385.50. And guys, when I set these alerts, I tell you guys every time I do a live, I'm going to always tell you when I do a live. Feel free to write these alerts down and use them sort of as like homework for yourself throughout the week, as like something you can double back on and check to see how things are going. That said, it does not mean when I give an alert, it doesn't mean that I'm automatically going to jump into a play at that level. It just means that I'm curious of a play at that particular level. So, for example, if I see SPY at 391, FinViz is going to alert me and is going to say, hey, SPY is trading at 391. And then at that point, I can go and I can check out SPY and I can see if it's a play that I want to jump in at that very moment, given whatever is going on at the time. And I may jump in, I may not. So it's not a guarantee. I don't want you to say, boss said he jumping in at 391, we jumping in at 391. But boss is definitely going to look at it at 391 and see how we move from there. So just keep it, write the notes down, take notes, but don't think that it's gospel, because no one thing is a gospel type of move right here. So, just keep that in mind. Now, Ravina, you in Vegas wearing the merchandise? I love that. I love that. I just made a new one. Boss. And what it spells out. Being one successful self or something like that. But you gotta check one of them out. I'm actually gonna order some myself. No, I think I did yesterday, matter of fact. So they should be here end of this week. But that's a dope shirt. I like it. Mr. Frederick, welcome in, good brother. Nice to see you. We definitely gonna go over any charts you're curious about. If you're curious about any, if you got any stock market questions, definitely drop a comment. I will answer your question as soon as I can. And Pam, I know you love Tesla, and that's why I'll be knowing that you're gonna ask me about Tesla. I love Tesla too, so we got that in common. Devin, what's up, King? CHPT, no doubt. I'm gonna definitely get to that. Let's bust down Tesla right now. By the way, guys, I need to drop this link to my Discord. This is the free version of my Discord right here. You don't got to pay a penny. All you got to do is click the link, slide up in there, come say what's up. I'm there, Pam there, Frederick's there, everybody's there. I mean, come say what's up, laugh, joke, man, go talk about some stocks, whatever the case may be. Definitely join that. And of course, if you're interested in the paid group chat or my options boss sweet picks, we can discuss that later off camera. But I definitely want to see y'all in the Discord. That being the case, let's dive into Tesla because Pam asked about Tesla, and let's see what that thing looking like now. Boom. So we pulling up Tesla, right? And as we look at Tesla, zoom in a bit. So the first thing we're going to do, like I said, we're going to talk about identifying support and resistance. Now, there are lots of areas where you can identify on most charts as support and resistance. So one area right here that I'm seeing is this 730 area. I see that being some support. I see that being some resistance, which I tell you, a lot of times when you break through an area of resistance, it becomes support for you, and vice versa. So if I can draw real quick, there we go. Grab my trusty little line. Let's see if I can get around that 730 area. Trying to get as close as I can. There we go. So right there, right? So right there where I drew that line at, and there's more areas I can point out of support and resistance right here, but this one area right here is pretty good support that you can see. So reason why and pretty good resistance, should I say? That's where I should start at. So right here, this was a 730 area. We broke down and we lost that area. When we lost it, we tried to test it again with this doji candle, but we couldn't get through. We didn't have no strength. Then we did break through, right? Because Tesla always breaks through. But then what did they do? They pulled back, lost it, and they kind of like played around with this area for like a week or so. And then we gave it up completely for like a week or so. And then we came back with the test. Now, when you came back with the test, you broke through on a red candle, but you wound up giving it back. You couldn't hold it. This time we broke through that 730 area with a green candle, which is a very nice move for Tesla. Now, full disclosure to you guys, last week in my Discord, and I might, and I said if you want the special play, you can hit the tip. You could, I mean, you know, people tip with as small as $5. Some people tip $20. Some people tip $100. You know, I think the biggest one I might have got was like $300-400, whatever the case may be. But I say that to say you can send whatever you want to send, and I'll give you the special play, whatever it is at that time. So on Friday, the special play that I gave was Tesla. So happened Tesla went nuts after hours. You would have thought I had some type of inside information. I didn't. I just liked how the chart set up, and that's why I jumped in it. And the reason why I liked how the chart set up is because, like I said, we broke through that 730 area and we broke through it on a green candle. So that was interesting to me, as opposed to the few times before we broke through that 730 area, it was red. We did have one exception right here, and we did even go up the next day, but we just couldn't hold that the next day go up. So we'll see how that goes right here. But if you look at this candle right here, guys, this candle opened at 727, got as high as 764.94, got as low as 723.48, and closed at 752.29. So it closed green on the day, but not at the top, which is what, you know, pretty much most stocks had happen Friday, the way that we closed. Now, after hours, it went nuts based off the Elon Musk and Twitter news, and we'll see how that's going to play out coming into the week to come. But now that we broke through, what we're looking for here is we're looking for Tesla above 765. Tesla above 765, you got a little resistance, I believe, around 770, right around right around this area right here, guys, where my mouse is. So I'm going to put some resistance right there for you to see. Let's see if I can grab my line again. And again, I know some of my veterans, they're, you know, obviously 100% familiar with support and resistance, but I want to do this video for the veterans and also for the people who are trying to pick up and learn the game a little bit. And that's why I'm harping so much on support and resistance, because obviously support and resistance is key when you're trying to trade. You got to know when to get in, you got to know when to get out. So that 770 area, almost 771, will be considered resistance. So now you can do one of two things. You can catch Tesla above 765. And if you do that, you definitely have a shot of riding this thing up. You could probably take it up into this 800 area. Or you could be a little more conservative and wait for that 770 area. And you pass through that 770 area, again, you could probably take this and test that 800 area. And I'm not going to draw it out right here, but guys, the reason why I'm saying test that 800 area is because that 800 area is another area of resistance. If you was to look at the entire Tesla chart that I'm showing, and this is on a daily, by the way. If you were to look at that entire Tesla chart, if you look back in September and October, you'll see Tesla having some difficulties with the 800 area. And again, Tesla dealing with the 800 area in late February and March. So that's why I say you could probably take this thing up to there. Now, I'm already in Tesla calls, but that doesn't mean I can't get more Tesla calls, right? And listen, the only thing better than one Tesla call is two Tesla calls. And the only thing better than two Tesla calls is three Tesla calls. So I am going to set an alert on this. And because I'm aggressive on this particular stock, it's a stock I like to trade, I'm going to set my alert above 765. This is not to say that you should get in at 765. You could maybe wait for that 770 area to clear. If you want to be super conservative, you could even wait for 780 to clear. But I'm going to set this at that 765 area. Above 765 here, I like calls, and I think that this thing could test 800. I'm not really much interested in puts right here, right now on Tesla, so I'm not even going to set an alert on puts. You guys know I typically like to set an alert on the call side and set an alert on the bear side. This way, no matter what the market do, I'm kind of sort of prepared. For some reason, I was there twice. But in certain instances, like this Tesla one, I'm going to skip the alert on the downside, and I'm just going to focus on Tesla to the upside. So there's that. Now that being the case, Ravina, she wants to check out V. So we're going to pull up V real quick and see how that thing is looking. Looking at V, guys. V. So again, I'm going to start by showing you guys where I see support at. And support right here is real easily shown. Boom. And plus, this is a stock I chart all the time, so I pretty much already know without looking at it. That 200 area. I always say I don't want to play with Visa calls unless they above 200. I've said it more than once. If you look at previous lives I've done where I've charted V, I've always said it. 200 is like the key area. Visa above 200, you can get bullish on. Visa below 200, you got to be bearish on, or you got to stay away from it altogether, one or the other. That's how you would be. So again, if you're looking at the support area, right, you'll see you got some testing right here in this early March area. We gave it away, and then we came back and reclaimed it after a week, and then we took off. Then you got some testing in that 200 area in May. You gave it away for about a week, came back, you didn't take off. You gave it away again for a couple of days, and then you took off. But you can see how it's touching 200 several times, and that's why it's a key area for this particular stock. If you know where Visa 200 is, you know if you could be bullish or bearish on Visa at that given time. So again, we come back, we hit that 200 area, we give it up, we down for about a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks. Come take it back, give it right back, and now we just reclaimed it again. So that's why Visa 200 is important. Now, if you were looking at some resistance, I can say that same thing about Visa 205. So it's best if you could catch Visa at like 250 cents or something like that, and you can see if you can run it up to 205. That's a nice move on Visa right there. However, when you catch it in between, sometimes it's good to stay on the sideline. So I'll show you that 205 area I'm talking about and why that is so important. Boom. And boom, there you go. So you'll see how we hit that 205 area right here. We come a little bit short, but we hit this 205 area, but we can't keep going. We give it back each time, right? You'll see right here, we hit 205, but we didn't have enough to stay above it. So it's a good area of resistance for this particular stock. So now knowing that, I already know this candle finished trading below 205. So this candle opened at 202.32, got as high as 204.10, got as low as 246, and closed at 203.52. So remember when I said, and I said it without even looking at this candle, I said if you could catch Visa like around 250 cent, that's a good time to buy calls, right? So this one hit 246 cent. That if we looking at Visa at that time, that's a great time to buy calls, and you can ride it up onto that 205 area. However, we didn't catch that, so Visa closed at 203.57. So from here, I know I'm right next to 205. I'm not interested in a Visa call right here. The only thing I want to do is I want to see if Visa breaks through. So now I'm going to look at the recent highs of the recent candles. You had a 207 and you had a 206.79, basically a 207. So now if Visa goes above 205, I know you could possibly push that into 207 if you catch it, or you can wait to 207 and see if you could touch the top of this trend line, which is around 210.50. That would be the move for me. If I was interested in Visa calls, I'd be looking at above 207 to see if I could take this thing to the top of this trend line. Now, if Visa was to turn back around again, you're looking at that 200 area as an area where if it breaks below that, you're going to buy puts. And if it holds there and starts to turn around, you want to buy calls and ride it up to 205. That's how you play Visa. Visa is a real consistent stock. And in that way, it's safe to trade because you pretty much know what you're going to get out of this movement. And that's a good thing whenever you find that. So Visa below 200, you can grab puts. If you see a fall to 200 and a bounce, you could grab calls. And if you want to be conservative, you can wait for a break 207 and see if you can touch 210.50. So that's what I would be thinking on Visa. That would be my Visa game plan. Um, Devin want to check out CHPT. So we're going to check out CHPT. And guys, do me a favor while y'all here. Definitely hit that like button. That like button is so important. I'm trying my darndest to grow this YouTube channel. And YouTube see people hit the like button and say, hey, they like his content. Let me show it to somebody else. So definitely hit that like button. Smash it. Annihilate it. Pummel it. Kill it. Do something to make YouTube know you feeling this video. That's what I need you to do. And I appreciate you for that. Devin want to check out CHPT. So we definitely gonna dive into CHPT real quick. If you here, definitely drop any stocks you got in the comment section. Definitely ask any questions you got about support and resistance or the stock market in general in the comment section. As soon as I see it, I will definitely answer it along with breaking down my own stocks, along with breaking down any stocks and questions that anybody else may ask. So, we could definitely be as educated and prepared for the week to come as we could possibly be. Now, that being the case, let's jump into CHPT real quick. Let's pull that up. Now, CHPT, guys. So this one kind of cheats a little bit for us. This blue line is drawn right here. I can tell you guys right now, that line is a line of support. And that being the case, we don't even got to look for support. We already know where it is. I can show you guys resistance. Now, the reason why that's support, again, because it'll touch several times. You see it touch in late January 2021, and then it kind of goes sideways there, takes off a little bit, and then it pulls back, right? Then you come back here in late April, early May. It touches, pulls up a little bit, then it gives it away. Then you come back, you reclaim it in late May. You touch it in June, and you take off. You come back mid-June, touch it again, take off again. Then you came back and you touched it here in July. Now, will you take off again is the question. So we already see that that's the area of support. If I was looking at an area of resistance, I can already tell you guys where, but I'm going to show you with the line just so you can know. Area of resistance. And again, it don't got to be perfect because it's just for educational purposes. But this 14 area, guys, this 14 area CHPT is having trouble getting through. We can't get through right here, right? You look right here, we finally did break through. Right here, we did break through. We having trouble right here. So these are several touches. Late February, we can't get through. Mid-February, can't get through. Late January, we gave it up. And after we gave it up, we kind of went sideways for a bit. So that's going to be a key area of resistance. Now, me knowing that, I'm going to tell you now, if this thing can break through 14, you can get bullish right here. If it can't break through that 14 area, then you gotta sit back and stay away from the stop, or you can wait till it hit that 12 area and see if it bounced off of 12. If it bounced off of 12, you can grab calls right there. If it break below 12, you can get puts right there. I'm going to set an alert right here for CHPT. This candle, this last candle that it traded, was a weak candle. Let's see if I can get it. This candle opened at 1338, got as high as 1421, got as low as 1326, and closed at 1338. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set it above 14. I'm going to set it. I'm gonna go to the highest candle. I'm gonna set this at 1425. You guys know I don't really deal with the weird numbers too much. 25, 27, all that other type of stuff. But I'm gonna do it for this particular stock. And the reason why I'm doing it is because I do think this is about to take off. I think that breakdown that happened, because it did break down below this wedge, I think that was to kind of sort of get ready for the big takeoff. Long story short, I think this pullback, all the people that's scared out, now everybody is scared is out, and now this thing is about to go. And when I look for it to go, I'm looking for it to come back to this 16 area right here. So this could be something that I may get a longer call on, not like something I would day trade. This might be something I would get. I'm just spitballing here. I'm not saying buy this, but I'm just spitballing. I might get a CHPT 13 call for August, whatever date in August, right? And then just see how that thing act during that time. And maybe, if it lose 13, I would say, all right, that's my stop loss. Let me cut it right there. So that's just me spitballing. Definitely something I'm interested in playing though. I am on a set an alert here. I'm on a set an alert for the call, and I'm gonna set an alert for the put and see which one come into play. Above what I say, 1425, I like it. That's not 25. There we go. Above 1425, I like it. And below 12, I'll try some puts on it and see how that thing works out. But I do think that pullback was an opportunity. So, guys, on Friday, traded in my Discord, right? I mentioned to my Discord that we opened the day Friday super red. Well, pre-market was super red. And I told the guys, I said I wasn't really super concerned about it. And I thought that pullback that we had Friday pre-market was pretty much a gift, and that it was going to give us some buying opportunities to make some money. Lo and behold, it did turn out to be a gift. The market did flip green, and the calls that we bought when the market was red went nuts, and we made a lot of money on Friday in the options group chat because I saw that being a gift. So when I look at CHPT, this pullback that I see right here from Friday, that don't look like a scary thing to me. That look like a gift. That look like an opportunity to get in and ride this thing up to 16. That's when I see when I look at CHPT. So that's why I'm setting up to get in on that particular play. We're going to check out Google because Ravina want to check that out. But what's up, big homie? I know you probably out on the golf course. I know how you do. I ain't mad at you. Definitely get a hole in one for me. Knock down some birdies, bro. We are going to check out Google real quick. Let's see how that looks. And let's see. Now, Google, again, guys, we're going to find that support area and we're going to find that resistance area. So if I was looking at Google, I could tell you guys right now, right around this 2200 area, which I'm trying to get as close as I could possibly get, right around this area right here is a good area of support. You can see it hit that area a couple times and it bounced off of that area. So that's good. Also, obviously, it did break down below it. So when you saw it break down below that support area, if you have this charted out properly, then let me jump into some puts right here. But several times it hit that 2200 area and it bounced off of that area. And if you caught the bounce off, you seen it make money. So that's that. Now, resistance, I don't even technically have to do for you guys because the resistance area, you'll see this purple line right here. And what we got is that's around 2351. Now, full disclosure, you guys know I talk about my options group chat a lot. I talk about my tier 3 a lot. And you're going to start hearing me talking about my options ball sweet picks a lot. Sweet picks is a new thing I'm doing, and it's making pretty good money for the members that's in it. I think it's only about 3 weeks old now, so it's a new thing, but it's gotten off to a good start the first few weeks. Actually, I believe the homie Butler, I believe he's one of my members in the Sweet Picks side. But I say that to say, talking about the options group chat, uh, we just jumped into some Google calls. Reason being because we caught it above this resistance area right here. So I believe we jumped in on this Thursday candle and continued with it on Friday. So on Friday, you got it opening at 23.45. It got as high as 23.93. It got as low as 23.38, and it closed at 23.87. So it closed towards the top, but not at the very top. So now what we're looking for is we're looking for Google to continue. To continue its bullish way, and it does still have room to the upside here. To continue its bullish way, I need Google above 23.94. Above 23.94, and you'll run into some resistance around this 2400 area. Not a lot of resistance, but there is a little resistance. So if you want to be conservative, you can even say, I need Google above 2400. Above 2400, this thing should at least see right around here. I'm trying to get my mouse right there, right around 2450. So it's another 50-point move if you catch it above 2400. That would be a real good sign for us because we're already in Google calls. That'll be a real good sign for us. But if you're not in Google calls and you're interested, I would definitely catch this thing above 2400 and see if I can catch it moving another $50. That's a nice move right there for us. Now, on the flip side, if this thing were to lose 23.38, now you're talking about you done gave up this purple line right here, which was resistance. Now, when you lose resistance, then it becomes resistance again. When you got that resistance that you broke through it, that resistance becomes support. But when you lose it, now it's resistance all over again. So if you were to lose that area, then you can start thinking about puts, and you can maybe ride that down onto that 2300 area where there's some more support around this area if you so chose to document that support. And again, if you ask why, it's because if you get to this 2300 area, you'll see multiple candles in early July, in early June, in early May, in late April, all touching that area. So that's a key area as well. But above 2400, you could definitely see this thing running to 2450, and below 2338, I believe that was 2338. Below 2338, definitely jump into puts to see if you can make some money to the downside. I'm going to alert both of those. Google, ironically enough, because it's a blue chip stock, and you guys know I love blue chip stocks. It's not a stock that I trade a bunch, even though it's a blue chipper. But I'm going to set an alert, and maybe one way or another it'll make us some money. But I definitely want to be prepared on both sides should Google keep going. Let's see here. Pam wants to check out Afram, so we're going to check out Afram. I definitely appreciate y'all hitting that like button. That like button is very key. I see my likes jumped up a little bit, so I definitely appreciate that. Looking at Afram, it's actually when I was charting myself, I was kind of cheating. Don't be mad at me, y'all. I was kind of cheating and charting a little bit last night on my own free time, and Afram was a stock that I looked at. But if you look at Afram, guys, again, starting out with the support and resistance, right? So I'll draw a line right here just to show you where you could be looking at for that support area. And that support area is basically right around that 20 area. Good support there. Now, it also has some resistance. And if you just got here and you don't understand what support is, drop a comment and I will explain to you what support is. And if you already know what support is, I'm not going to go in depth. But if you hear, definitely don't be bashful. If you're here and don't know, ask me what support, why is the support, what's resistance, why is it resistance, and I'll explain it as many times as possible. That's why I named the video, finding out about support and resistance, because I want you guys to ask that question if you're not familiar with it. Now, that resistance area is around 25. So above 25, I think this thing could run up and test that 30 area, but it needs to break through there. It has not broken through there yet. In between here where it's at now, It's kind of in no man's land, and you kind of want to stay on the sideline and wait for it to break one way or another. This candle on Friday opened at 22.20, got as high as 23.62, got as low as 21.45, and closed at 23.34. So it closed towards the very top. It was a nice move. But like I said, what I'm waiting for now is I'm waiting for this thing to break through 25. When it breaks through 25, then I feel like I could jump in the calls, and I feel like I could probably ride this thing in the 30. Uh, until it breaks through that area, I'm going to kind of stay on the sideline, but I do want to know when this happens because I feel like it's going to happen. So I'm going to set the upside alert on Afro, and I'm not even going to touch a downside alert. My upside alert is 25. So again, write it down, take notes, guys. Watch how it plays out during the week. It's not me saying I'm guaranteed to jump in at this number, but I do know that I'm interested around that area. So that's why I set that alert right there. That is Afram. DC asked about AMD. We're going to check out AMD real quick. Let's see how that thing looks real quick, guys. Let's see here. All right. So AMD, we're going to start out again with that support area, with that resistance area. So this one, as is a lot of them, uh, pretty fairly obvious to the eye if you have familiar with support and resistance. This 80 area is a big area of support right here. And once we lost that area, it was all downhill from there. Now, you can kind of see how this reversed because you got the bottom of the trend and you hit the bottom of the trend. And then you got the red candle right here. And then you got the big bull candle right next to it. Not quite an engulfing candle, but a big enough candle that it would make you think at the bottom of this trend, maybe this is reversing, right? So you got that. Then you got your doji. You gapped up with a bull candle. And then you got another semi-doji around this 80 area because 80 is a big area. So what you're looking for is this candle opens at 78.32. It got as high as 80.47. It got as low as 77.40, and it closed at 79.35. So what you're looking for is you're looking for this thing to be above 80.50. Above 80.50, you could definitely get bullish here, and you can see if this thing can test the next move, which the next move you're probably looking at around this 86.50 area. This 86.50 area will be some resistance. So you will be looking there. And if you could get through there, then you could test 90. But 80 to 86.50 is a nice move as well. Or 80.50 to 86.50 is a nice move, should I say. So that's an alert that I want to be aware of because if AMD does that move, I would like to know that it's happening, and I would like to be able to ride on it. And I should have looked at that chart a little bit deeper because I might be interested in the AMD put setup. So I'm going to double back to that AMD chart and see what would a put look like. So right here, this candle, it got as low as 77.40, right? So what you would be looking for is for this to break below 77.40. And if it broke below 77.40, maybe you're going to break down and test the bottom of this trend again, which would be a big move again. So actually, now that I see that, I am interested in that AMD put. So below 77, I would like to know. So this way, if I want to test AMD to the downside, I can do just that. So I got that AMD charted out, and I'm comfortable with what I see there. Now we're going to jump into QQQ. If you got any other stocks that you want me to chart, drop those stocks in the comments. If you got any stock market related questions or any questions about support and resistance, drop them in the comments, and I'll be happy to go over it with you so we can try to be prepared and know what we got to do to game plan this week to come. Moving over to QQQ. Let's see here. So this one got a clear resistance right here for us. This blue line right here lets us know that we got to get through there in order to be able to get any kind of bullishness on QQQ. So this candle opens at 292. It got as high as 296.75. It got as low as 291.12, and it closed at 295.35, right? So it closed towards the top, but not at the very top. Right here, you need this above 297 to get bullish. Above 297, though, you're super close to that 300 area, which if you guys watch, you know I always talk about those type of numbers, that 300 number, 250, 200, 350, numbers like that. They're what I call psych numbers. And it just basically means it's a human element number that people will react to. Could be positively, could be negatively, but they will react to it. So because of that, I really wouldn't even go in on QQQ unless it broke 300. Even if I seen it above 296.75, I would probably just stay out the way and wait for 300. So one of the things I'm working on here, on myself. Now you guys know I'm self-taught. I mean, don't get me wrong. I read a lot of books and I watched a whole lot of YouTube videos. Not even before I was ever making YouTube to learn about the market. But what I always did was I took whatever I learned and kind of put my own spin on it, so to speak. And that's what you guys should do as well. So that being the case, one of the things I'm trying to go through with myself now is I want to find less trades, less and less and less and less trades a day. I don't want to make, there was a time on 2021 where you could have seen me make 10, 11, 12 trades in a day, and I would have had a great day. Don't get me wrong. But now I'm trying to be more efficient. So now it's about trying to find only the trades that I absolutely have to take. So QQQ at 297 or 300 is not a trade that I have to take. I don't feel like I have to take that. Above 300, now I might get interested in that. But 297 to 300 is not something I have to do. I'm not even going to alert it, but I do want to be aware of where those levels are. And what the intent of that is if you only getting into trades that you feel like you have to take, it's probably going to increase your win percentage. And not only is it going to increase your win percentage, it's probably going to increase the percentage of profit that you win off of the trades that you do take. So, for example, I'd be much more interested in trading QQQ, not QQQ, CHPT from 14 to 16 than I would be of trading QQQ from 297 to 300. And that's just how I'm looking at it now. So if that's something that can help you guys in your trades, especially those of you that trade alone by yourself, like I know Ravina, she do her own thing. If that's something that can help you, definitely make mental note of it and make it a part of your strategy going forward. Trying to find less trades. I no longer desire to be in a bunch of trades. I just desire to be in the winning trades and the big winning trades if I can. So that's pretty much what we're looking at. And I think I did a pretty good job of that last week, especially. But I want to be even better at it going forward, even beyond what we did last week. And last week was a pretty good week for the Discord, so I was happy for that. Now, that being the case, if there were a pullback below 291.12, I believe there's some support, around this 290 area. So again, I wouldn't even be much excited to jump in with puts there. I would just know that the market is bearish at the time, but I wouldn't necessarily be excited for puts. So what you're looking at is below 291, you're bearish. Above 297, you're bullish. Above 300, you're super bullish. Below 290, you're super bearish. That's what I want you guys to think about when you're thinking about QQQ. Now I will check and see. Pam, you're absolutely correct. Above 300 is a gap fill, and that's why I said above 300 you're super bullish because now you got a gap to fill above 300. So you're exactly right. Good call on that. I'm also going to pull up UPST because Pam want to see what that looked like, and so do I. UPST had some rough news last week. I believe they mentioned that they was not going to meet their. I am going to swig some of that. Give me a second. Bear with me. I'm right here. All right. That's a whole lot better. Now, if we look at QQQ, guys, this was the Friday candle. This candle, first of all, you see, if I zoom in a bit, you'll see it gap down from this candle up here. So there was already the gap down. And then once you gap down, you got open at 26.74, got as high as 27.61, got as low as 26, and it closed at 27.09. So it did gain a little bit of that back. And this could be a scenario where, it fell as much as it's going to fall. And right here could be a bounce type of area. That very much is a thing. If you were looking for that type of thing, I would like this above 27.61. Above 27.61, you could play this to rebound. Uh, that actually isn't a bad idea. It's an idea I'm entertaining in my head as I'm talking to you guys. I'll probably set an alert for that setup. However, if this goes below 26, then all bets is off, and then you got to get bearish here. I'm going to set an alert on this both ways because I'm interested both ways. Above 27.61, so we're going to call that 28 because you already know how I do. And then below 26, that could be put city right there. And UPSC, like I said, it had negative catalyst last week to push it down. So that could be something that's going to make the stock bearish in itself, or that could be something that's a gift. It's a buying opportunity for you and me. So we'll see which one of those two scenarios plays out. But that's definitely something to watch for. And now we're going to, what I just checked out, QQQ and UPST. We're going to check out DIA. If you hear, drop any comments of any stocks you want me to chart, of any questions you got on the stock market. If you got any questions about support and resistance, which I'm trying to focus on in this video, definitely drop that comment. So I'm going to move into DIA, and we can chart out the third of the big four right here, right now. And if we look at DIA, guys, so DIA, like a lot of stocks, it'll give you this easy support resistance area right here, 310. I can automatically see without even looking at the stock real hard. I can automatically see that is an area. Let's see if I can get my line. Boom. Come over here. That's the area of support. That's the area of resistance. The reason why I say support is because you get your bounce right here. The reason why I say resistance is because when you gap down, you couldn't come back and get it right here. And then you was underneath for about a week or so. You finally came back and got it. You couldn't hold that area. You gave it back. You came back and got it, but it was a doji, and then you gapped up a little bit right here. And now here we go. So that's why I said that's going to be an area of support and resistance, because it did a lot right there. That 310 area is a big area for DIA. That's a big area. It's kind of like 200 for Visa. That would be 310 for DIA right here. So now if you're looking over, you'll see this candle right here is at the top of this trend line, or almost at the top of this trend line. Top of this trend line is about 315.64. So I already know I can't get bullish on DIA no matter what this candle say. I can't get bullish until we break through 316. If we break through 316, maybe DIA can do something. If we don't, I already know I got to be on the sideline or I got to be in puts. But I can't get bullish anywhere in between where it is in 316 and expect that trade to work out well for me. So I already know that. I don't even got to really break down the high and the low of the candle. But the low of the candle will matter if I want to jump into puts. And the low of this candle is 312.17. So if DIA lost 312, I could play puts down to the 310 area. That's not an exciting move for me, so I'm not much interested in that. But I could do that. If it broke below 310, I know I'm super bearish right there. And if it bounces off 310, then I know maybe you could get calls there, because then you got 310 to that 316 area as a possible movement. But it's not much here that I see that would excite me to say, yeah, I'm going to set an alert for this one. So I'm going to stay on the sideline on that. Pam wants to check out Starbucks and NVIDIA. So let's check them both out real quick. Excuse me. Starbucks. Pull that up real quick. And this is a quiet live right here. I'm noticing we only had a small few check us out today. So because we only had a small few, I'm probably not going to rock too long today. I'll probably dip out soon, but we're going to run through Starbucks and NVIDIA and see what's happening. But I see it's a quiet one. Uh, Starbucks, very easy one to chart without even having a breakdown. It's untradeable. It's untradeable until it breaks through this 80 area. Whole lot of stuff going on right there. I would not buy calls right here. I wouldn't buy puts unless it broke down below that 78 area. If it broke below the 78 area, maybe you can get some puts and write it down. That's not even a big move to this 20-day EMA around 77. So really, I wouldn't be interested in calls or puts right here, the way it's set up. Above 80, wake me up. Other than that, I'm on the sideline as far as Starbucks go. Um, we will check out Nvidia, and depending on what's going on, I might even tap out on y'all after Nvidia because I see this as a quiet live. Uh, Nvidia, looking at this one, and we got the descending trend right here, and we broke out above that, which is nice. So you see the purple line, right? And you see the doji, and then you see the gap up with the green candle, and then the even bigger green candle right next to it. So that was a nice breakout, and it could be a good sign for the chip sector. When the video gets going, it's good for the market and it's good for the chip sector as a whole. So we'll see. On the video, opened at 154.29, got as high as 160.37, got as low as 153.89, and closed at 158.38. Above 160.50, I like Nvidia calls here, and it definitely has a chance to make a strong move to the upside if you catch it above that. I'm definitely going to set that alert there, and I'm not even much interested in puts where it's sitting right now. So I'm not going to set an alert on puts, but I am going to set that alert on a call at 160.50, and I'm going to see if I can catch the video at that point at some point. Because like I said, when the video gets going, it's good for the market and it's good for the chip sector as a whole. So I definitely got my eyes on that. Guys, it was a quiet Sunday. I know everybody was probably out chilling, having their fun. So we're gonna leave it here. We're gonna let it go. I'm gonna go through a couple charts on my solo to make sure I'm ready with the options group chat, with tier 3, with the options boss sweet picks later on tonight. By the way, if you're not in the options boss sweet picks, definitely hit me up on Discord. I dropped the Discord link once. I'll drop it a second time. Ask me about the options boss sweet picks so I can get you in there. You definitely gonna make some money. I'm about to chart up some stocks now and throw those stocks in the options boss sweet picks for the weeks. Guys, you can always be a boss with the options boss. You already know I'm a holler when I holler. Take care, Ravina.